What if one of the first holy wars in history was never truly about the gods? In ancient Greece, where people believed that oracles spoke with divine voices and temples connected heaven to earth, men didn't just seek guidance, they surrendered their fate. But behind the rituals, the prayers, and the sacred beliefs, a different story was unfolding. A story driven not by faith, but by ambition, control, and power. And at the center of it all stood Delphi. In the 6th century BC, Greece was divided into rival city-states, each fighting for influence and dominance. At the heart of this divided world stood Delphi, not just a sanctuary, but the spiritual center of all Greece. Kings and warriors came here to seek answers from the gods. But Delphi was more than sacred. It was powerful. And that power was controlled by the city of Kirrha, who began charging heavy tolls from pilgrims. What was once a spiritual journey slowly turned into a business. And with that, tension began to rise. The response came swiftly. A powerful alliance known as the Amphictyonic League was formed, claiming to protect the sanctity of Delphi. But unity in Greece was never simple. Behind this alliance were hidden motives and silent ambitions. As armies gathered and leaders made promises in the name of the gods, whispers spread across the land. Were they truly defending something sacred, or using it as an excuse to expand their power? Because in history, the line between faith and politics is rarely clear. The war began not with glory, but with suffering. For years, Kirrha was placed under siege. Its walls held strong, but outside them, the coalition slowly tightened its grip. Supplies were cut off, trade routes were blocked, and the city was surrounded by both land and sea. With no escape and no relief in sight, the pressure began to build. Yet even in desperation, Kirrha refused to fall. Because sometimes it is not strength, but survival that keeps a city alive. But then, the war took a darker turn. Not through swords or fire, but through something far more silent. According to later accounts, the attackers poisoned the city's water supply using a toxic plant. If true, this would be one of the earliest uses of chemical warfare in history. But the truth remains uncertain. Was this a real strategy, or a story shaped later to justify victory? Because when wars are remembered, they are often rewritten by those who win. In the end, Kirrha could not hold any longer. The city fell, its defenses shattered, and its streets consumed by fire. What followed was not just defeat, but destruction. The people were killed or enslaved, and the land itself was said to be cursed forever. Kirrha was erased, not only as a city, but as a warning. A message to all of Greece about what happens when power is challenged. Some believed this war was guided by the will of Apollo himself, spoken through the oracle at Delphi. But no direct prophecy survives, only stories written long after the war had ended. This leaves behind a haunting question. Did the gods truly command this destruction, or did men simply use their names to justify it? Because when religion and power come together, truth often disappears in the shadows. The sacred war came to an end,
But its impact lasted far beyond the battlefield. It changed the balance of power in Greece and set a dangerous precedent that war could be justified in the name of religion. But in the end, this was not just a battle of cities. It was a battle of belief, of truth and illusion, of faith and ambition. And it leaves us with one final question. Do gods start wars, or do men simply fight them in their name?
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every battle has a story, and some stories should never be forgotten. Stay with Battle Diary, where history comes alive.